Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to the Kathie J Show. So good to see you. I hope you're having a good day so far. You know what? I'm always excited when we hang out this half hour. So thank you so much, whether you're watching us live or you're catching up on past episodes at KathieJShow.com. I just appreciate you being with us. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Kathie J. And of course, all of us are talking on social media together. I love reading all of your comments that you're leaving me. So thank you very much. Now, I am very proud, everybody, to have Ramos Law as one of my biggest sponsors on the Kathie J Show. The Kathie J Show couldn't happen without Ramos Law and their big heart. So since the start of my show a year ago, they've been nothing but amazing to partner up with on this journey. Not to mention, we've all gotten to learn how truly incredible they are, all of the positive differences that they're making in the community. It shows through all the shows and the interviews that we've gotten to do with them. The whole Ramos Law team, let's be honest, they're beyond talented. He has picked them wisely. So today, we're staying with that same energy because we're introducing you to the senior partner at Ramos Law. Everybody, this is Brian Calandra. Hello, Brian.
Hello, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
I know your time is very valuable, so thank you.
Thank you.
But I love the fact, let's start off by telling everybody who you are, Brian, because that's one of my favorite things is to tell people who everybody is. You grew up in Detroit. You're a Detroit kid. Motor City in the house. That's awesome.
Sorry, Avalanche fans, although you got the cup, so
yeah,
I shouldn't be talking Red Wings today.
No, you can't. Well, you can, because we still get to say we won.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Talk all you want.
Yeah, it's been a while for us.
But you're from Detroit, like you grew up there.
Yeah, I grew up in Metro Detroit in the suburbs north of the city and went to school there and ultimately law school out east and made my way here because this was the dream, to live in Colorado.
Okay, so the dream wasn't necessarily to be a lawyer. The dream was to find a way to support yourself skiing.
Well, no, not exactly. Oh my, where'd you get that picture?
Isn't that the best photo? That's you and your brother? Is that you and your brother?
That is me and my brother in our little sailor suits. And then that's my brother and I. We both graduated college on the same day.
So are you twins?
We are not. He's
okay.
Actually 3 years older almost to the day.
Okay, all right. That's awesome.
Haven't seen that picture in a while.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of love there.
It is, yeah. My brother and I are close.
That's awesome. So it's just the two of you.
It is.
And so when did you realize, like I have a thing for law. I want to do this.
Oh, well, it was pretty young.
Yeah?
I had a big mouth, liked to argue, pretty common in Italian families.
For sure.
Just kept hearing, people say, you should be a lawyer, you should be a lawyer. And that led to being on the debate team in school.
Yes.
And it just, the pathway just kind of continued right into law school.
You were like, I do have a knack for this.
Seems like a natural fit at this point.
Also a natural fit, I think that you have, you were brought up with a big work ethic. Strong work ethic.
Absolutely. That's something Dr. Ramos and I both have in common. We both come from these blue-collar backgrounds, with really strong work ethics, both our mothers and our fathers, and it's just how we were raised.
Yeah, right. And so seeing hard living is how you were raised, being part of that, having to put the food on the table. It's not about just buying another purse. Like, people are out there just struggling to get food on the table. You came from that.
Yeah, my dad's in his mid-70s now. He gets up every morning. He's at my brother's restaurant every morning working. It's not because he has to, it's because he wants to.
That's great, because that's all y'all know. Just work and help out the family. Speaking of family, you have a beautiful daughter.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, there's Kes.
Oh, geez, there she is.
Where are you guys at?
That is actually Michigan. That's right on Lake St. Clair. I was just there a couple weeks ago because my brother just got married.
That's awesome.
And we were in town for the wedding, and that was right there by the water. My brother's wedding was pretty fantastic. Rented a yacht, sailed down Lake St. Clair to the Detroit River. It was really cool.
Oh yeah. Now since he has a restaurant, did he cater it too?
No.
No.
he took the day off.
Okay, good. I was wondering if his wife made him take the day off. All right, so everybody, when we come back, we've got lots more with Brian, including the whole philosophy of how Ramos Law wants to build the community and its clients. We'll be back. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. So today we have the honor of having senior partner at Ramos Law, Brian Calandra, is here. So Brian, we've gotten to know a little bit about you, but the one question I didn't get answered was, when you came out here to Colorado, you do like to ski. That was one of the reasons, right?
Love to ski, love to mountain bike.
Okay, and you said Colorado is the place for me.
Well, the other thing I love about Colorado is the sun shines here from November to May.
Yeah.
Don't see that a lot in Detroit.
No, no, you wouldn't. There's sadness. Even when the sun is shining, there's still some sadness in Detroit.
It's a great place, but quite frankly, I love Colorado.
Amen.
This is home.
Yeah, and we're happy you're here because you're doing so much for the communities here in Colorado. So we get you, so we're happy about that. I wanted to talk to you about when you first became a lawyer. You had big dreams, right? I'm going to change the world. Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, being a lawyer is important, and as we all know, that attorneys have a bad reputation, right?
Yes.
If you ask a group of 100 people to think of the first word they think of when they hear the word lawyer, unless my mom's in the room, you're probably not going to hear a good word, right?
Right. No, you're right.
And that was something that I wanted to change, because not all lawyers are bad. A lot of us have honor and integrity, and a lot of us really do want to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of why I went to law school. I wanted to fight for what was right.
Yeah, and I think, and thank you, God bless you for doing that. I think that's why a lot of lawyers do get into it, and then you all get tainted as you find what the reality is, and red tape, and blah, 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 and postponing things through courts and stuff. You still don't. You haven't fallen for that after all these years. How long have you been a practicing attorney?
Just over 20 years now.
And you're still not tainted. You still believe in fighting for the little guy.
I do, and I still love being a lawyer, believe it or not.
I know, because you're a senior law partner now. You don't really have to do cases if you didn't want to, right?
Well, I have my hand in a lot of different pots.
That's what I like to hear.
Dr. Ramos is very generous in that regard, and so I kind of get to pick and choose at this point in my career what I'm doing and what I'm working on in a lot of ways. And that makes it a little more fun.
Oh, no, it does. It does. But you put in the work. Like when you and Dr. Ramos started Ramos Law, you're one of the OGs. Like there was like 7 of you when you started, right?
Yeah, so Dr. Ramos had already established the firm when I came on board.
Oh, my gosh, look at you two.
Oh, my.
Oh, my God, you look like little babies. Oh, my goodness.
We look young, but the truth is we weren't all that young in those pictures anyway. And so that just tells you where we're at today.
Experience.
Hair's a little grayer and there's a little less of it. And there we are at a recent holiday party that we had a few years back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So so back to when you two started. So he started the law firm and just found you. What happened?
That's a very long story,
a
networking story. But the bottom line is someone that was working with Dr. Ramos knew someone that knew someone that knew someone that knew me, and that I was looking to come to Colorado. Met with Dr. Ramos. Our values just synced up so well. Take good care of people, do the right thing. And there were 7 people in the organization when I joined in 2012. Today, I believe we're an organization of 88.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's really cool. That's what you fight for.
Absolutely.
And so and we've met so many of the wonderful lawyers that you have on your staff. And you cover everything from aviation law to helping people with estate planning. And if you don't have a lawyer for what someone comes to you for, you have a huge network.
Yeah, that's one of my big responsibilities in the firm.
Yeah.
Is what we call the Ramos Law Attorney Network. And what it is a big group of lawyers, right, that all share our values. Take good care of people, do right by people, be fair, be honest in your practice of law. And these are folks that do things that we don't do in-house.
Yeah.
And what's happened with our growth is that we get calls.
Yeah.
Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that?
You do, right.
And Dr. Ramos and I were both frustrated because we weren't doing a good enough job of getting those people the help that they needed. So we created the Ramos Law Attorney Network, which is, like I said, big group of lawyers. So if you call me and you say, hey, I need help with this, and it's something we can't handle internally, I'm going to make sure that you get connected with a good lawyer who knows what they're doing in that area. They're going to take good care of you, give you great service, hopefully get you a great result.
And that's awesome, Brian. And everyone out there that's saying, no, that doesn't happen, I want you to know they did that for my mother-in-law. It did happen. And you followed through to make sure a lawyer that wasn't even in your Ramos Law called her. Like, it's amazing your follow through. And when we come back, everybody, we're going to talk about that good quality control and what it means to Brian. We'll be back. Kathie J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. You know, from good client relationships and communication to a special attorney network that they have in place, Ramos Law prides themselves on being the best at what they do and what they stand for. And if you've been a client of them, you will agree. They are the best. Brian, as senior partner, Brian Calandra, everybody, is here, senior partner for Ramos Law. Brian, you have a big role in clients saying, I had a great experience at Ramos Law. That's you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it starts with Dr. Ramos.
Yes.
And both he and I, we just see eye to eye. You got to take great care of people because it's the right thing to do, first of all, but it's also a big part of doing business the right way.
Okay.
And with me growing up in restaurants, it just comes natural for me, right? Because I come from the hospitality industry. My family were caterers before my brother went off into restaurants. And so worked weddings.
Oh yeah, that's hard. That's some hard.
It can be a challenging service environment.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And you have to make sure you're taking great care of people. Now, when you practice law, a lot of times the lawyer gets caught up on the practice of law, right?
Yes.
Caught up in that and getting the result for the client. But the client doesn't see that. They don't feel that. They don't touch that, right? And then when they're paying that legal fee, right? Which you know, we're not cheap, and you know, lawyers can be expensive. They're asking themselves, well, what else did I get for this? Did you take good care of me? Did you give me great service?
No, they really are. Yes, at the end of the day, because we're already scared. Something horrible has happened to us. I'm praying that the person I'm choosing, the lawyer, is going to understand how hard they need to work for me. Right. But I haven't heard from him in a month.
Right.
You know, that doesn't happen at Ramos Law.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And so we call it a first-class service environment, and that's what the client should expect from us. And we built a system around it. And
I love this. I love hearing this.
Yeah, so our system is all computerized, right? And our system tells the paralegal, you have to call this client every 3 weeks to check in. It tells the attorney, you have to check in with the client every 30 days. Now, those are minimums. That's just the minimum expectation. And a lot of times we have to do more than that, because how are you going to represent someone that's been injured, for example, in a car accident?
Right.
They can't work, or they can't cook for their kids, or they can't do the laundry, or they don't get to go to watch the soccer game.
Yeah.
How are you going to get to know that client if you don't talk to them? How are you going to negotiate some kind of resolution for that client if you don't know anything about them?
I completely agree, and you know, I've learned a lot, you know, being in radio over the years about lawyers and stuff. And there's the TV lawyers where you're just a number. There's the lawyers where they truly want to bring you in and say, I will follow you through because I understand you'll have bills. You might not get back to work. You've now affected relationships. Those ones are very rare, and that's you.
Right.
So I can't thank you enough for doing what you do. When I meet someone that has been a client of yours, they immediately smile, which you never see anyway. They immediately,
like to hear that.
Right, because they don't feel like they were taken by the lawyer that they asked to help them.
Absolutely.
And that's so big.
Right.
So big. And so you also, I want to talk one more time about your network.
Okay.
If you don't have lawyers, even though you have 88 employees at Ramos Law, if you don't have someone in your network that will help who's calling you, Ramos Law, I know Dr. Ramos has even helped Spanish families that have called with stuff that he couldn't, but he found them lawyers. My mother-in-law needed help with an estate planning. You guys found a lawyer in a different county to help her. You followed through. Yep.
If someone calls us for help, we do everything we can to try, right? We want to make sure we get that person the help that they need, get them connected, because most of the time, well, here's what happens. You call a law firm, right? Law firm quickly finds out they can't make money.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Right, and that's where it stops. You don't even get to an attorney necessarily.
And I still have a broken back, or I still have a hurt back, and I still have a car that's not working. I can't get to work. Right. Okay.
And so, you know, there are some times where a client has something where there is no pathway to a financial recovery. But like you said, they're still hurt. Well, Dr. Ramos is a physician first, right? And so we help those folks get connected to medical care. Right, because they still need to get better. Right?
That's part of your network too, medical care.
Absolutely. Getting people routed to good doctors, good medical providers that are going to take care of them is a huge part of our practice, even if we can't help on the legal side.
Yeah, and you being such a good senior lawyer and him being a doctor and a lawyer, you guys have enough experience to go, that person has no idea what they're doing, so we won't use them in the network. That person, you know, like you already kind of are the middleman that's taking out all the weasels.
Well, as you can imagine, with Dr. Ramos being a physician and an attorney,
he's going to look right through and see the truth.
He has really high standards,
yes.
and for good reason, right?
Yes, right.
And so in order to work with us, we want to see those same high standards, meaning people first, profit second, do the right thing. And that's what makes the network go.
You know, and the money will come if you're doing the right thing. That's the theory. That's how it goes. And the blessings still come to you. So talk to me about that quality control. Everyone has to hit that same standard that works at Ramos.
Absolutely. And one of the things I do at the firm is I check in with the clients.
Good.
Right? I check in to make sure they're being taken care of, make sure they know that I'm available if they need to reach out with questions or concerns, because let's face it, nobody's perfect.
Yes.
Right? And we're dealing with people that are in high stress situations. Right? They have no money. They can't pay the bills. And they're looking to us for help, right? And sometimes the blood boils, right? And they don't have anybody else to really vent that to. Right? We're that ear.
You take that.
We take that.
The guy from Detroit can take it. You can vent to him, and then you find the solution, because that's how you've been brought up.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
And you don't stop until you get it right.
That's the boy from the Motor City. Don't stop till you get it right. All right, everybody. When we come back, we're going to learn more about the hospitality, about with Ramos Law, as well as, I don't know, just more about what they're doing in the community. We'll be back. But real fast, we have to take a quick Colorado Lottery Fun Fact of the Week break. Did you know that on July 23rd, the Colorado Lottery is going to be celebrating 40 years? Let's all go out and play the Colorado Lottery and celebrate with them. Play on. Welcome back, everybody. Today's been such a wonderful show. It's been fun talking to you, Brian. Everybody, this is Senior Law Partner at Ramos Law. This is Brian Calandra. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been so much fun.
This has been a lot of fun. And again, thank you to Ramos Law for sponsoring the Kathie J Show, because you have allowed us to get so many stories that are happening in the community out there because you've helped the show. So thank you.
Yeah, we're glad to do it, and it's nothing but good things about your show in the office. People love your show.
Yay! And I love them. So, and I love you. We're learning so much about all of the experience that Brian has. Now, Brian, you're not a medical doctor. Dr. Ramos is the medical doctor.
He is.
He's amazing. I tell you what, I was trying to slip him some of my slides just to get some free advice. He's pretty busy. He's telling me to get back to me. But he also, but the consultation, he's teaching you how to consult on medical cases, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, explain that.
Well, that's part of what we do, right? Because we're a medically based law firm.
Yeah.
Right? One of the main roles that we have in helping our injured clients is getting them better.
Yeah.
Right? Because the money part of the case is important, of course, but there's nothing more important than getting your body back.
You're right. Physical therapy. Right. Yes.
And so that's where the focus of the injury practice is. Get folks to the right providers, get them better, get them back on their feet. That's the most important thing. And
that's amazing to hear, just so you know, because there's a lot of people right now that are like, lawyers don't care. It's about the number, and then we have a bad back, you know, but you know, we got bills paid. But you carry us through a treatment plan, kind of.
Right. We actually have a separate med team in the office led by Dr. Ramos and Dr. Hoven, and their job is to make sure our people get better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And one of the other things that Dr. Ramos does is he educates the legal staff on the medicine so that we can do a better job of explaining it to the insurance adjusters, to the attorneys, to juries, right? Because if you don't understand the injuries, you don't understand your case.
Oh yeah, as an insurance company, I would not want to go up against you and Ramos in a court. Are you crazy? You guys will be like, no, this is exactly what's happening. You know what I love about you as well is you talk about your experience of the work ethic, but you also pull from the experience of the fact that you're clumsy and you break your bones a lot.
Well, I don't know if clumsy is the right word, but
you're a skier, you're an athlete. Yeah. You've had 12 orthopedic surgeries, right?
I have, and my sensei from martial arts would tell you that unfortunately my body appears to be made of paper mache. It breaks easily, and that's right. I've had quite a few procedures, feet, ankles, toes, shoulder, hernias.
So it's actually good in a way, because the silver lining is you know what you should be able to help your clients get for treatment.
Well, it's not only that, it also helps communicating with the client, because injured folks, they like to talk to someone that understands what they're going through, what it's like to be a patient, what it's like to be in pain, what it's like to go through a procedure, what it's like to have, because your injuries don't take a vacation.
No.
When you're on vacation, they're with you.
Yes.
When it's Christmas, they're with you, right? And so a lot of people don't understand that because they haven't gone through it themselves personally. And so I find that it makes it easier to connect with clients when I'm able to share some of those experiences. All of a sudden they're like, oh, you understand.
Yeah, you totally understand what I'm feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Brian, social media is also big with Ramos Law. You guys are everywhere. Why is that important to you guys?
Well, we want to reach people, right? Because one of the things we're pretty passionate about is just doing things the right way as attorneys, right? And it's pretty easy to say that a lot of attorneys have bad reputations, right? So there are people out there that don't know about Ramos Law, and they might end up with an attorney that isn't going to take great care of them, doesn't understand the injuries, doesn't understand the medicine. And so Dr. Ramos feels like it's our mission. It's a very important one to make sure people know we're here. And the only way we can do that in this day and age is to use social media, because you can't just go on TV or the radio anymore. You have to have all these different channels to reach all these different demographics. And that's why our focus is there.
And I agree. And I love everything you're putting out on social media, because it's everything from what you should do, the top 3 things as soon as you get in an accident that you should do, the fact that you shouldn't trust your insurance company, you should still call a lawyer, the fact that you have so many different tips, even Dr. Hoven and chiropractic care. Like, it's really great what you guys are putting out there.
Oh, thank you.
So everybody out there, I want you to remember, if you're ever in an accident, if you know somebody that's been in an accident, if they're not happy with the current service that they're getting from a lawyer, you gotta call Ramos Law. Go to ramoslaw.com, or you can just call him. You can call him anytime at 303-733-6353. Any final thoughts, Brian?
Well, I would take that just one step further. If you need a lawyer for anything, whatever it might be, call me at Ramos Law, and either we'll help you or I'll do everything I can personally to try to get you the help that you need through the Ramos Law Attorney Network.
That's awesome, everybody. ramoslaw.com. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much for having me.